Hey guys, and welcome to the last part of the Spa track in the IndyCar. Gonna take a look at Stavelot, Blanchiment, and Bastard basically. These are the last two sectors in iRacing as well. Gonna tell you my lap times again later, as you can't see them here anymore. And we have basically stopped just here after the first Stavelot corner, or Stavelot, whatever. Names are a little bit different, so we've got curve Paul Freya, or as well Stavelot coming up again. It's basically flat. You can use the curb before to open up the corner a little bit, but as you see, nothing really much happens here. Keeping it planted. Just make sure to not hit that curb too much. As said before, you don't want to unsettle the car when you're fully on the throttle. Don't run wide here to avoid the off-track, but it's easy. You see, I don't even have to use the steering that much, so not gonna talk more about that. So at this point here, also obviously flat, you just want to minimize the amount of, just run the shortest line basically. That's what I mean. So run a diagonal line across the track here, from the right to the left, which I don't really do in that lap, but if you really want to find, like 1/2000th of a second that are just gifted to you, if you do that, you can do that. And then keep it tight here. Don't even have to use all the room before Blanchiment, because it's easy flat again. So maybe just run the shortest line without, or also care about not using too much steering input, because that's just going to give friction and slow the car down. So just find the compromise between the shortest line and let the car flow. Then basically after Blanchiment, what I always do, many guys go over to the left here then already. I'm always, braking diagonally again. So from here, like under braking, I go over to the left a little bit. Just let the car run to the left through that right bit, but it always saves a little bit of a few meters to your line, so it gives you a few thousandths of a second again without doing much. It's just for free. So then basically the only really corner that's left coming up is bus stop. I'm gonna play it first in full speed. Yeah, basically that's it. So the braking point is just about the middle between that white line, and when that bit starts, it's very hard to find a braking point here all the time in every car. So it's just around now, which is, maybe a little bit before the middle between those. It's just, you have to feel it when to brake, basically. It's very hard to have a proper braking point, but just before the middle of that works quite fine. Like 20-30 meters after the line, I'd guess. And then hard on the brakes again, like turn 1. I was a little bit more gentle on the brakes than in turn 1, but I would rather recommend to use this braking input also for turn 1, but it worked. So hard braking at least. And then as you approach the corner, get off the brakes a bit more, because you start to turn in always. Just always think about that the tires only can manage turning, and is these just a specific amount of turning when you're on the brakes. So if you want to really turn the car or rotate the car, you really shouldn't be on the brakes too much, unless it's trail braking to help the car turning. Actually, what I do here is a little bit of trail braking, just helps the car to rotate and also slows the car down. So it's a good compromise to use that tactic or technique. Then you see me. You want to be using all of that normal white and red curb here. You don't really want to use the sausage curb, which I actually tap with the right rear, and that rotates my car, you see now, even a little bit more, but also that curb here rotates the car a lot, so it's extremely crucial to hit that curb. That basically, this curb messes up your lap if you don't hit it, and if you hit it, it's just gonna finish off your lap nicely, but you have to hit it for a nice lap, especially in qualifying. I mean, in the race, going to give you time as well, but it's up to where you are. It might not be that crucial, but you should always try to aim for it. But be careful with that curb here, the sausage curb, which I actually, as you see, tap a bit here, but the car is loaded on the left anyway, so it doesn't have a big effect if you go onto it like I do here. It just rotates my car a little bit more. And then for this corner, the same applies again. You don't have to use this curb as much as you have to use the one before though. You still don't want to use the sausage curb, of course. And you can use this, but it's not that as beneficial as the curb in the first part. But obviously you want to have the longest radius and nicest, tightest line through the corner as well. So then there's a thing again, which we can see here, also out of turn 1 and some other corners. I always go up to 50% throttle, or just about that. It's actually a little bit less here, until I open the steering wheel a little bit more, as you see me doing now. It's basically a general thing in all cars. If you want to get on the power, you'd have to open the steering wheel, and I did open the steering wheel to allow me to get on the power, basically what you want as early as possible here. I have a little slide here, it's not a big problem. Could keep my foot down. And it's crucial to open your steering wheel to get on the power. It's basically the same with the braking. If you want to brake hard, you can't turn. And if you want to turn, you can slightly brake or slightly be on the throttle, but otherwise you're going to spin if you do too much. So always open your steering wheel and then get on the throttle. Not the other way around, as I said in turn 1 already, I think. It's just a crucial thing, especially in that car. And yeah, with the 50% throttle I do in turn 1 and here, just around that. When the revs are that low in that car, 82 kilometers per hour, again you can go in first gear like to 155 k's. So the revs are quite low and don't have the amount of torque you will have later at like 100 and 110 kilometers per hour, which you actually can see here now at 1.5. I have a little slide because the torque kicks in, or the power, I don't really know what it is, but at least in the low revs you can get on the power a little bit without having big problems, but you really have to listen to the sound of the car. When it revs up, you should be more careful with the steering a bit, in the first gear at least, maybe also in second gear. But just in general, always open up the steering wheel and then get on the power. So that's basically the lap. I'm gonna tell you the sector times though. Sector 4 was a 23.79. Here's the track conditions again. Same level as before, obviously. And this last sector was 11.658 for your information. So if you want to compare yourself to that and see where you lose the most time, you've got the information now. And basically that's it. Lap time was a 1:54.85, which was on that stint my fastest lap time. Was also the last one, so low fuel on board, as I said, and I'm not too sure if I said that already, but yeah, low fuel on board. It maybe hurt me a little bit through the slow corners like turn 1 and the chicane, because you've got less mechanical grip because the tires were used quite a bit. I had like 66% use or left on the worst bit of the tire, front right inner was that. But in fast corners I'm gonna gain a lot of time by the low fuel. Not a lot, but I mean in terms of racing it's a lot. In racing every 100 of a second matters a lot, so yeah, you might think about that, or you should think about that if you compare your lap time in sectors like sector 3. You should lose a bit more time with full fuel, and maybe in sector especially 5 you could gain some back if you hit it perfectly, but yeah, it's a bit up to the conditions as well, but you saw them here. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope it helped you, and please contact me for criticism or feedback, whatever, and hope to see you guys on track. See you, have a nice day.